Welcome to Get Savvy, the podcast for people who want to claim back their time through the power of delegation, productivity, and automation. And today we are talking about Notebook LM, which is powered by Gemini by Google. So this fun little tool turns documents, website links, videos, or even other audio into its own audio overviews. And this is currently a free tool that we're very excited to share with you.
Notebook LM is like the worst name ever, don't you think? Like, that is not fun. Hopefully, when they bring out the paid version of this tool, they actually come up with a better name. I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Hopefully. It doesn't really reflect, in my opinion anyway, what it does either.
No. Yeah. Okay. So this is an AI tool. And in October, so just last month, Google has announced that they are going to bring out this business version of Notebook LM. And this is then going to be, it's kind of like a pilot program at the moment, and they are allowing people to have early access to it. But then it's going to be a paid tool in the future. So this is the time to go in and have a play with this tool, and we're going to explain to you what this tool could actually be used for, because there's some kind of interesting ways that you could use it in business.
Yeah, so Google hasn't indicated whether they're going to keep the free version when the paid version does come out with Google Workspace. So yeah, as Joe says, go have a play with it now just in case they don't. But it's been created to help people learn on the go. So one of the examples that they use is creating study guides. So obviously people studying, then they can have the documents or slideshows or long videos of, say, a lecture that they're in converted into essentially a podcast form and listen to it that way if that is how they prefer to learn. So you as a business owner may have a topic you want to learn more about, or maybe even a new tool or program you're looking at using for your business, but you don't have time to sit down and read through this massive PDF of all of the features of this tool. You could then use something like that with Notebook LM and have a little podcast that you can listen to on the go, say when you're driving between appointments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when we say a podcast, we do mean what feels like an actual podcast with 2 AI or 3, or can you choose however many hosts you want?
Yeah.
AI hosts who are having a conversation in a podcast form. And we've actually done this for Strictly Savvy. And so we're going to play it for you, the 6-minute podcast that we created by just providing it a link to our website.
Mm-hmm. So it's fully customizable. Like Joe said, you can have multiple hosts, or you can just have one person talking about it if you don't want to listen to multiple people. But you can also, say if you're uploading a really long document or a video from YouTube or something like that, and you are only focused on specific parts of the source that you've uploaded, or aspects, say strategies or whatever it is, you can tailor the output from your input. So actually ask it to focus on specific parts of the source.
Yep. Okay, so you can also ask the Notebook LM to explain like really complex concepts and like really simplify it, write down like you do with ChatGPT. You can ask it to do that. But this is in a conversational podcast audio format. So it could be a really good way to utilize your time, like driving in a car if you drive a lot, or while doing something else. That's why I really like podcasts, because you can actually do it like while you're cooking, while you're driving, while you're exercising, while you're walking. Whereas like watching a video or reading something, you actually can't do something else at the same time. So that's why I think that this is a really cool way to learn, or to have complex concepts like pulled down into like a really simple format, simple terms, so that you can understand some things.
Another thing that Notebook LM themselves say that it is often used for is as a research assistant. So brainstorming notes, market research, or competitor research documents that you've got, you can upload in there and ask it, similar to ChatGPT, I suppose, to identify trends, generate new product ideas, uncover hidden opportunities in your industry and that kind of thing. But obviously, compared to ChatGPT giving it to you in written form, this will just be in podcast form. So again, if you prefer listening to it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good distinction. So instead of using ChatGPT, using this tool to give you an audio version of the answer, I think is something really unique. I haven't heard of this or seen anyone else doing this. So yeah, let's go into our example of what we have created. So how did this come about, Tisha?
So I believe it was our marketing manager that found out about Notebook LM, and basically all she did was grab our website link and she just put it in the tool. So she didn't adjust any of the settings. She just left it all on auto, left the tone on auto, everything. And then this is what it created, which is a 6-minute podcast episode talking about virtual assistants. And then it does talk about us specifically as Strictly Savvy as well. So yeah, well, I mean, we'll let you listen to it and see what you think.
Ever feel like you're just drowning?
Yeah.
You know, like drowning in tasks and deadlines and emails.
Oh.
It's like you're not alone. The average employee, get this, is only really productive for like under 3 hours each day.
Wow.
2 hours and 53 minutes to be exact.
Mm-hmm. It's a crazy stat when you think about it. A lot of people dealing with that, business owners, employees, everybody.
Right. And we're all like trying to do more with less, but I mean, at what cost?
Yeah, exactly.
Burnout,
Yeah.
missed deadlines.
Yeah.
Just like less creativity.
Right.
Those are still the consequences.
Yeah.
So what's the solution here?
Well, how about, imagine if you had like a teammate, like someone you could really trust who could take some of that weight off. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And that frees you up to focus on what you're best at. That's where virtual assistants come in.
VAs.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so, and we're not just talking about scheduling meetings here.
Right.
We're talking highly skilled people who can handle like all sorts of things, complex bookkeeping, financial stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Even, get this, podcast management.
Exactly. It's really evolved, you know? Virtual assistants. These are not just assistants. These are people with specializations.
Yeah.
They can really tailor what they're doing to what you need.
It's like finding that person, you know, who complements your strengths
Yeah.
and fills those gaps. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like who loves doing expense reports?
Nobody. That's the point. You're leveraging expertise, right?
Okay.
You're optimizing how you work.
Okay.
And honestly, when you delegate to a VA the right way, it changes everything.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting things done. It's about freeing your mind up to think bigger, to think about growth, new ideas.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think a lot of times we think about productivity as just like checking things off the to-do list,
Yeah.
but it's got to be more than that.
Absolutely. It's working smarter, not harder, right? It's about getting your time back, your energy back, and focusing on what's really going to move your business forward. You
Right.
know, the big picture.
So how do you know, like, if a VA is right for you? Because it's a big decision
Yeah.
to hand over these important things.
It is. It is. And it's got to be the right fit, you know, your
Yeah.
needs, your values.
Okay, so let's dive into that then. What should you actually like look for when you're thinking about getting a VA?
Well, you got to be clear.
I mean, before you even like start looking at people, what do you need? What do you expect them to do? What's eating up your time?
Yeah.
What skills are you missing?
It's like you're taking inventory,
That's-
right, of your
that-
to-do list
Yeah.
and your own, I don't know, strengths and weaknesses.
Yes, exactly. And once you've got that,
Mm.
right, like you really know what you need,
Yeah.
then you can start looking for people with those specialties.
Yeah.
Look for certifications, you know, testimonials,
Right.
a good track record.
So you got to do your homework.
Yes.
Okay.
Talk to people.
Yeah.
Look at what they've done. Get a feel for their, you know, what they really know.
Yeah.
And you got to communicate. You want somebody who gets what you're trying to do,
Yeah.
you know, who can talk clearly, fit in with how you already work.
Yeah. Because the last thing you want is to bring someone in and then it's more work. Oh, yeah. No, exactly.
Okay. So finding the right fit. We
Yeah.
talked a lot about, you know, what's
Mhm.
great about Voz, and there's a lot, but being real for a second, there's got to be some, I don't know, some downsides, some
Right.
challenges.
For sure. Like anything, right. It's a business decision. You got to look at both sides. I'd say one of the biggest things is just trust.
Yeah.
Can you trust this person with your business?
Especially sensitive information
Yeah.
or, something really important.
It's a big leap of faith.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, checking them out, talking to them, that's so important.
Yeah.
Start small, build that trust over time, make it clear how you give feedback,
Yeah.
how you're going to hold each other accountable.
So it's kind of a dip your toe in the water before you jump in. Yeah, exactly. Don't go head first right away. And I mean, the other thing, right? Managing someone remotely, it's different.
Yeah.
Time zones, how you communicate, the tech.
It's a different style than being face-to-face.
It is, but I mean, it's not impossible, right? There are tools, there are strategies. You can make it work.
Okay. So it seems like the big thing is just know what you're getting into, right?
Right.
Understand the good, understand the maybe less good, and then you can kind of deal with it.
Exactly. Be ready for it. Okay, so we've been talking generally, right? But you mentioned Strictly Savvy earlier. They seem to get a lot of this stuff right.
They do.
Yeah.
And they're not just offering the same old VA stuff. They're using AI, which is interesting. That's thinking ahead, right? I mean, delegating is one thing, but having a VA who's using AI to make things smoother, that's another level.
It is. And it shows you they get it right. Innovation. They want to give their clients the best, the newest stuff. They even have a whole series on their podcast, Get Savvy.
Okay.
It's about the AI takeover, how businesses can use it, all of that.
So they have a podcast too. Interesting. They're really into educating people, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely. And a blog. And get this, a free guide you can download. 101 tasks to delegate to a virtual assistant.
Okay.
Perfect for anyone thinking about it, Gives you real examples, a place to start.
Yeah, sometimes the hardest part is just knowing where to begin.
This takes that away.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, right? Working smarter.
Yeah.
And Strictly Savvy, they seem to get that.
Yeah.
You look at their clients, what they say, the certifications they have, being zero gold partners, their focus on, really knowing their stuff.
Yeah.
It all fits.
It all comes back to that thing we talked about at the beginning. How much time people are actually productive at work. Imagine if you, even just a little bit of that time, you got it back.
Right. It could change a lot, I bet.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about here, right? You're not giving up control when you delegate. You're actually getting more control. You control your time better, your energy.
Right.
And then, your business does better too. It all connects. So anyone out there listening, if you're feeling, overwhelmed or just curious about this whole VA thing, go check out Strictly Savvy, their website. Download that free guide. It might, it might change how you think about things.
It might.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep. What an outro.
Diving deep. Okay, Tisha, what do you think?
I think for no direction, it's honestly pretty good. It sounds so realistic, firstly. It's scary in a good way. This has been such a fun exercise for us to do as a business.
I think it really shows that the messages that we want to come across from those reading our website are coming across. Because if the AI has read our entire website and that's what they're picking out of it, I think that that's a reflection of our website being really good. It says what we want, the message that we want to come across. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of weird and cool having the AI talk about your business and how it sort of talked about virtual assistants in general first, and that overall concept was cool, and then bringing in Strictly Savvy.
That was very interesting. So obviously we talk a lot, especially in our blog, we try and do really unbiased articles where we're talking in general terms so that people can get different point of views. So it's obviously picked up on that side of things as well, and then talked about us specifically.
And it said that we like to educate people, which we do, right? That's why we have a podcast. That's why we have a blog, an extensive blog. So it's really picked up on that as well. I mean, there were some weird things, like some of the you've got in the notes, the agreement noises are kind of weird sometimes.
Some of them are just really I don't know, excited or just like that, just extreme, I guess.
Yeah.
A
But over
little
the
bit
top.
strange.
And then they called VAs
Vase. Yeah.
Vase at one point.
Vase.
Yeah, which is a
Yeah.
bit
But
weird.
then they got it right every other time. So it was interesting that there was just once that it said vase. But overall, though, that's a really small error.
Yeah. I felt like there was one thing that kind of got a bit confused about. But yeah, generally, I think it did a really good job. There's just one thing that I was like, that's not quite what we mean by that.
Diving in head first or something?
Oh, the dipping the toes in. No, I think that was good advice. But there was something else that was just a bit like, I think it's got the wrong end of the stick on that. But it was, not obvious.
So, would you actually listen to this, Joe? Say if it was something that you were interested in learning about, there's maybe not a podcast episode you can find that you wanted to listen to, or you have an existing document that you want to have summarized in audio form. Would you listen to these AIs debriefing it with you or for you?
Yeah, I think because I really like listening to podcasts and I like the conversational format of podcasts, I think that this is a really good way to learn because they also like broke it down really simply and easy to understand. And it gives you, I think they could probably do a good job of like the pros and cons of things and like seeing both sides. Like it felt like quite an unbiased view of something, which I thought was quite clever. And I would like that if I was to listen to something where I was like really trying to understand if something's a good idea or not. So yeah, I think this could be a really cool tool. Now, for you listening, you're probably like, okay, but how would I actually use this in my business? So we touched on a couple of points where you could, like, if you're trying to figure out whether you go forward with a tool or maybe there's a comparison that you want to do, something like that, and you've got a big document that you can upload into it or a website of a tool. And you could actually ask it and prompt it, couldn't you? And say, can you actually do the pros and cons? I want to figure out whether this is a good tool for me to use in my business. You could definitely ask it to do that. So yeah, I think that's one, like helping you research things and make a list of pros and cons about something, I think could be a really good option.
And as we touched on as well, it could be even just a good exercise for your business. Put in your own website link and see what it comes out with. And if your key points are actually getting across, it's a really good way to identify what the AI then is talking about, if it's understood what you're trying to do and who your target audience is. And if not, then it may be that you need to go back and look at the messaging on your website.
Yes, I think that would be an incredible exercise for anyone listening, because when you know what your business is and you know how it helps people, you can often think that or assume that everyone else just knows that as well, but they don't. And so is your website actually informing your visitors, your potential clients, the right way and enough so that they really get what you do and then obviously want to book a call with you or buy your services or your product? So I think it's a really good marketing exercise for sure.
And if you do use it for other documents or YouTube videos or other audio files and you are looking to get something specific out of it, do just remember to add that with your prompting, because like anything with AI, if you're putting in crap prompts, then you're going to get a crap output. So definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Cool. So we hope you enjoyed listening to AI and their own podcast about Strictly Savvy and virtual assistants. If you want to chat to us about opportunities to implement AI in your business, then book a call with us over on strictlysavvy.co.nz, and don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the Get Savvy podcast.